Hey everyone, I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold. This is 5 Minutes with Ben, and I'm Ben. As I've said in a lot of videos in the past, I like looking at games from Super Grandmasters and World Champions when they were kids. And this is a good example. Magnus Carlsen white, Zaven Andriasian is black. This is in the World Under 14 Championship in Kaldiki. In 2003. So in 2003, that was 22 years ago. So I guess Magnus was about 12. I guess. I'm not sure how old he is. His FIDE rating is 2450. God damn. Okay. And I like the end of the game. It's a pretty long game for a 5 minutes with Ben. It's 24 moves. So either I'm going to go quickly or it's going to be 10 minutes. Either way is funny. Okay, so Magnus is white. It's a regular Slav. D takes C4. This is the main variation for the last 100 years. Okay, in this position, Magnus played a move that I faced once with black against Zurab Azmaiparashvili, and I lost quickly. He played knight h4. I think I played bishop c8 here. I've played knight h4 with white also. Andriasian played e6, giving away the two bishops, but black has good control of the center squares that are white squares in the center, which is good. Okay, e3, Magnus wants to win his pawn back, and does. Magnus attacks the f-pawn, g6. Okay, now Magnus decides it's time to checkmate his opponent, especially because he's a kid, so it's always time to checkmate your opponent. So he puts it in h, trying to play g4, attack on the king side. Andriasian tries to stop that, plays h5, also putting it in h. Now Magnus decides to castle queenside and attack the black king. So he plays bishop d2, which is necessary if you want to castle queenside. Black completes development. White castles queenside. Now black decides he's going to play for b5 and attack on the queenside. Plays a6. Magnus ignores that, sacrifices a pawn, plays g4, attacking black's king. Black has several ways to accept the pawn sacrifice. Zaven decided to accept the pawn sacrifice and keep the h file closed. Makes sense to me. Takes with the pawn. I might be tempted to take with the knight. In fact, I thought he did take with the knight, but he didn't. I guess white can play rook g1, and I mean, white has a pretty big attack for a pawn. White has the two bishops. White has two pawns in the center to 0. White's squared bishop is tremendous. All of white's pieces are participating. So I wouldn't want to be black here. Okay, she took with the h-pawn. I guess in a perfect world, black can play king g7, rook h8, and stop the h-file attack. Okay, queen g2. Again, this is the under 14. So, they're not defending too much. They're attacking. So b5. Magnus saw his bishop was attacked. Black thought he had time for c5. And Magnus played knight e4, threatening the bishop on d6. Now, if you take the knight, give me the knight, and white takes back, white's not only threatening the obvious queen takes g4, but much more threatening is queen takes g6 checkmate. God damn. Yeah, because the f-pawn's pinned. See that bishop really far away? This one? Yeah. That's why I wanted black to play king g7. Okay, so black didn't do any of that. Black played queen e7, defended his bishop, and Magnus is like 2 bishops against 2 knights. All right. Then he played dc, which opens up this diagonal for Magnus's other bishop. That's pretty daunting to have the bishop on this diagonal and the bishop on this diagonal. Open h-file. Man, someday that guy might be world champion. Okay, now black played a move I wouldn't consider, but I guess black wanted his queen off the d-file. I guess if I was black, I would consider knight takes and queen takes. But he played queen e7. Not sure why. Magnus, improved his bishop. Black took his time, played rook a c8. Magnus played sort of obvious winning move, especially if you're Magnus. Always sack the exchange, rook takes d7. But this isn't really an exchange sack, because if knight takes rook, this is checkmate with advantage. And if queen takes, this is worse than checkmate, because you see checkmate coming on h8, you can't do anything about it. You can get some spike checks. You can get a lot of checks in. That's pretty good. Now your checks will give away your queen and your rook. So that's not good. Okay, so black decided not to take the rook. Played queen takes c5. Better was resigns. Okay, Magnus, knowing that at some point he'd be one of the greatest players of all time, always played king b1. Okay, and the idea is, if you play queen f5 check to win my rook, this looks like the last position we saw, where I have unstoppable mate and I have a material advantage. Also good. Okay, so after king b1, now the bishop, can move because it's not pinned. Okay, so black played b4 instead of resigning. A lot of moves win here for white, but Magnus played the best move. He knew that 22 years after this game, I'd be looking at this with 5 minutes with Ben, and he wanted to, make you guys happy with this move. This is why I like World Champions games when they were kids. Okay, he played the crushing queen takes g4. God damn. Okay, it takes a pawn, and it hangs the queen because we have mate. But that's not why he played it. Played it because he's stopping queen f5 check, although you can play queen f5 check. God damn. Okay, that's not good. And more importantly, it threatens mate in 1. So if black goes la 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 and takes on c3, Magnus would call the arbiter over and say, my opponent's going la la la. Then he'd play queen takes g6 checkmate, because that bishop is still there. So white's a piece up. White's threatening mate in 1. White's threatening the knight on f6, and so forth. Mainly and so forth. So Andriasian resigned. Magnus wins. Very nice game. I guess Magnus was either 12 or 13, since it's the world under 14. Hope you enjoyed that game as much as Magnus did. I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold. This has been 5 Minutes with Ben. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.